water bottle out of the way.
Alright.
Trying to get the thing set up.
It's okay, it's okay.
We can give it a second before we do the intro. Because I gotta share the stream. Is that a little crooked?
A little bit. It's more so showing me, not you. There we go.
Is that better?
Yep, that's cool. Right there.
Alright. Because the camera's a little skewed. Okay. I'm going to share this on several pages.
1 second. Is that how you share this?
Just hit share, and then you can share it on your page, and then I'm sharing it on... It's not even letting me do it on the More Than Friends page at all. I don't understand why.
There we go.
Okay.
Alright, we in?
Almost. Trying to figure out... So I think we're good. I think we're ready.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get this pulled up on my phone so I can see comments.
That's a good idea, actually, so that way we can respond.
Yep.
We can have it too.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Hello.
I feel like I look like a crazy
evening.
person.
You actually don't.
I actually do. I look like a crazy person. Alright. I'm ready when you are.
Well, help me get into this first.
It's not working.
It's not.
Why is it?
Oh, it's because it's a dual screen.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, I'll tell you about it later. I'm just trying to...
Is it not pulling up?
Yeah, no, it's slow.
Well, if you want, we can just use my phone.
Yeah, it's
I'll just put that right there.
That's all right.
I'll put it on the
Alright.
fancy portable charger.
Well, that is fantastic right there. Wonderful. Okay. Great.
Let me... Hold on. Hidden record in 3, 2... Alright. It's official. We've started.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say welcome to our first ever broadcast of Seat at the Table. My name's Caleb. I'm your host. This guy here is Steven.
I apologize.
We are delighted to bring you content. I mean, this show is all about unique experiences throughout life and conversation. The art of conversation is key in regards of talking through different perspectives.
Yeah. So, actually, if you want, we can... Do you care if I share the story?
That's fine.
Of how this started? So, for those of you who don't know, this show started when I was working at GameStop at the Alexandria store before I got fired for showing somebody my ass.
How crude.
But anyway, so Caleb was a regular at that store, and we ended up talking and everything. And he said, "Hey, I used to do this radio show. I really want to start doing that again." And so I looked at him and I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And then we did it.
Steven has a unique platform of being able to connect with not only the viewers or listeners, but also the artists as well. And so that has captured the beauty and the making of More Than Friends, as well as our new show here, See at the Table. So welcome, guys. Pleasure to have you, and pleasure for you to be watching. Hey, Mom. Hey.
Yeah, we can. So.
So with this show, I'm sorry, no.
No, you got this.
So with this show, we really wanted to bring you guys like an in-depth conversational feel type aspect to the show. And what we decided to do was we decided to air our show on Facebook Live, so that way you guys can actually watch, comment, and be a part of the conversation, not just listen to it. And so
hence the name Seat at the Table.
Seat at the Table.
We all have a seat at the table.
We all have one. So it has a very nice feel to it, and we really want to capture your ideas and opinions, as well as share ours as well.
So as we go forward, so right now we're doing the show live on Facebook, so there's video and everything. We're also recording audio with this microphone. So for people who are listening on iTunes or Spotify, you guys are listening to the not live version, but that doesn't mean that you can't chime in. You're still able to chime into future live episodes. But throughout the show, anyone can sort of submit any questions or comments. They can join the conversation, and we can see it, and we'll be able to sort of have a conversation together. And in the future, we hope to bring special guests along with us, maybe even do like a show in front of a live audience, not just on Facebook live stream. So there's lots of different things that can happen, but for now this is our first time, so we're still working out the kinks and everything.
And and for individuals that are listening or that will be listening after the live show, our live show, those episodes will be placed on both iTunes and Spotify. So very much like our other show, with More Than Friends Productions, that'll be aired on, so you guys will be able to listen to your heart's content.
Yep. And you can subscribe. We actually already have the feed available. So if you go on Spotify or Apple Podcast, you can go ahead and subscribe and follow, and it'll just show up when it's available. Or you can just enjoy it now because we're live now. So there's that. But yeah, so for this first episode, we figured we would start with just a question, and then we can just kind of go from there. A lot of the show is kind of dependent on you guys, because you kind of steer where the conversation goes. But to start, what question do you want to ask our lovely audience?
Well, I guess I want to start with just more so of a simple question. What is your favorite place or the best place that you guys have ever been to? It could be any place, whether it's more so outdoors, like going out to like the coast. It could be going out west somewhere. It can even be going out of the country. It really doesn't have any type of border or preference. What's your favorite place that you've ever been to?
Okay, and while we're waiting for people to submit what their favorite place is, what's your favorite place?
Well, I'm quite a traveler. I love to travel, so for me, I'd say my favorite place is probably DC. DC is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very, historic, has wonderful learning environment, beautiful at nighttime, absolutely gorgeous. Just so much history, so much type of culture, from different ethnics of life, different walks of life, and you're able to learn a lot within that small city,
There's a lot of
small province.
Museums there too.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, they have a lot of different museums, from, of course, African American to to Asian American. There's also Indian museums.
Yeah, I like the Native American Museum personally. That's
And
my
then-
favorite.
Yeah, and then of course there's other of course the actual monuments, Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, Jefferson Memorial, and other landmarks like that. So I mean it's a pretty beautiful city. I mean with a lot of history, and just a lot of culture that's diverse with it, that's enticed with it. So. Well, let me read your comments now.
We've got some people. So Sarah Smith says Red River Gorge. That place is gorgeous. I haven't been there in a hot minute though. I've been wanting to do another trip there.
I'll tell you what,
Sarah.
I'll tell you what, Sarah. So, I mean, for me, I've never been to Red River Gorge. I've always heard that's a gorgeous place to go to.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, right? A gorgeous place to go to.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, she's probably going to forgive you. No, I mean, yeah, I've never been there myself, but like I said, I love to travel. I would love to go down there. I've been down to Gatlinburg, so I mean, isn't Red River Gorge here in the state of Kentucky?
I think so. If
Okay.
if it's not, it's like right on the border of something. I'm pretty sure it's in Kentucky. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
All right. My mom also says Negril, Jamaica. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
The grill.
Negril. Negril.
I'm not very good with names like that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But yeah, I know my mom particularly loves more tropical environments. I know that any given day she'd rather be on the beach.
I've never been out to Jamaica. The only country that I've been to that's been outside of the U.S. You talk about beauty. I mean, I've been on a cruise, and I went from Miami to Cozumel, Mexico, with my siblings, and that was a very, very fun trip. Very unique, very different. In terms of culture and different ethnics there, and things like that, and so. Also diverse too.
That's my favorite thing about traveling is being able to sort of not just experience a new place, but I like to sort of immerse myself in different cultures, different ideas and lifestyles, and that's why, like my personal favorite place. It's kind of weird because it's not as exotic as you may think. But my favorite place is Disney World. But the reason why is because particularly there's a theme park in Disney World called Epcot. And they have something called the World Showcase where you can literally like travel to other countries, but in Disney World. And it's pretty authentic. I mean, it's a bit exaggerated, I guess, but it's authentic in the sense that people from that country are there and they speak the native language, so you can ask them honest questions. And it's actually pretty cool. Like, it's an educational experience. It's like a museum, but there's robots everywhere. It's really cool. So Disney World's my personal favorite place. I've been going there since I was a kid too.
Okay, well, don't hate me. Okay, don't hate me. None of you
no.
hate me.
Oh,
Don't
no.
hate me, Steven. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I'm fragile.
I'm
But
prepared to hate.
no, don't do that. I've never been to Disney World.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Disney World's for babies.
No.
So many people are like Disney World's for little babies. And I'm like, no, it's not.
No, my brother has been to Disney World, and he says that it's a lot of fun. I know that it costs a lot of money, and I know my pockets are not that large. So,
Well, maybe if the show catches on, then people can.
Well, maybe we can have a live broadcast out in Orlando
don't
and have
so
Mickey
see
join
what the table-
have Mickey join us on the set, maybe.
That'd be cool. I don't know if he'd say much. I don't know if the costume characters really speak. I don't know. We'd have to ask Mickey Mouse.
Maybe we could remove. Well, I mean, okay. Well, I don't want to spoil nothing.
Remove what?
Well,
What if like Mickey Mouse was like the Mandalorian and they're not allowed to remove their mask, so they just go around every day just in Mickey Mouse hat, like grocery shopping,
grocery shopping, going
just
to
Mickey
work.
Mouse.
Like just imagine if Mickey Mouse had like an office job and like he couldn't he couldn't get out of his Mickey Mouse suit, so the only thing that he would be doing is just working, and he'd be having the Mickey Mouse, and like especially if he had to work in like a call center or something. Just imagine
Just a
how
giant
hard
ass head with
how hard it would be to have that mic.
And those stupid like the big the gloves too. I feel like that would be impossible to type. So that would just be a disaster.
Oh yeah,
It'd be like that
He probably
game
wouldn't even-
Job Simulator.
He probably wouldn't be able to type any notes or anything like that. That's
So we have a couple more people. If you want to do these comments.
yeah. So Mom, yeah. Shout out to you. I know you want to send me to Jamaica too. I appreciate that.
And then,
Nah.
It's a quiet time. So Sarah said, my brother started the college program and he's costuming and they made him sign her brother signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement for being a Disney character at Disney World.
Oh, so he can't tell.
He can't, well, they have like special code words and stuff too. So like they can't say, I costume as this character or whatever. They have to say like, I'm best friends with. So like if somebody dresses up as Goofy, they can't tell anyone that they dress up as Goofy. They can only say, and like that's part of the non-disclosure agreement too. They have to say they're best friends with Goofy.
Oh wow, that's
very specific.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard. I've never heard that at all.
Like the idea is that they're not allowed to break the immersion that these characters exist. So they like as separate entities. So it's like really weird. Like they don't even have like the same character cannot show up anywhere else in the theme park at the same time because it's only supposed to be one character, I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
But
no, that's
yeah,
interesting.
they're pretty strict with that. It would be kind of cool to have your brother on the show, Sarah, and maybe he can be in costume as somebody else, so that way he doesn't get in trouble for spilling the secrets.
Hey, shout out to Angel. Hello. Hey, nice seeing you again. Thank you for tuning in on the show. And I think you also have a friend too.
Yeah, I've got a handful of people in here. So hello, everybody who said hello in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. And also, since we are recording audio for iTunes and Spotify, thank you to them for listening as well.
Absolutely.
You all are special too. And my dad commented and said, what about the real Mickey? Isn't he there?
Okay, I'm gonna have you explain this one because, like I said, I've never been to Disney World, so you go ahead.
Mickey Mouse is real. He is not a performer in a costume, and that's the end of it.
Oh well, okay,
That's the end of it.
So, for individuals who happen to have any further questions about Mickey, if he's real or not, I'm
definitive answer.
I'm going to side with Steven on this one, and I'm sure that you can find both Mickey and Minnie at Disney World.
We are never going to be sponsored by Disney. I can guarantee that.
Probably not. But I mean, that would be a really, really good idea, though. I mean,
I think we've already screwed ourselves in that respect. Oh, and Jessica says hello to you, Caleb.
Hello, hey, how you doing?
Is there? So I'm just gonna throw this out there, just because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it.
It's fair.
What do you all want us to chime in on? It can be literally anything. It can be controversial.
Up and down the spectrum.
It can be intimidating.
We can definitely kind of shed our nickels and dimes into the conversation of whatever.
That's more than 2 cents.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Davin says hello to you, Caleb.
Hey,
as well.
Davin.
That's
Hey, how you doing? So Anna asked, "What do y'all think about Trump?" And Trump is in capital letters. Okay. And Miss Mara, we'll get to your sexual
we'll go down
music
the list.
here. We'll go down the list too as well.
I'll let you start.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on good old President Donald Trump?
All right. Well, for me, and this is just me personally, I typically don't necessarily care for politics. Reason being is because, of course, when you speak on politics, a lot of things get dicey because a lot of people believe in different things that the country should allow. However, overall, I just kind of go with the flow with everything. As long as I'm still able to, you know,
Live your life, I
Wi-
guess.
making an honest money, making an honest dollar. That's all I care about. What about you, man?
Well, I don't think it's really much of a secret how I feel about Donald Trump. I I promised my parents. I promised my parents that I wouldn't talk about politics that much. But yeah, I think that we're living in an interesting time where there are a lot of things happening where there's not really much of a precedent for them. So we're kind of in the Wild West when it comes to modern politics. So we're treading a lot of uncharted territory, and while I certainly don't agree with a lot of what the current administration has done, I am very interested and anxious to see how this is going to alter politics in future America, because I think we have a lot of things that are happening now that we may want to reconsider in the future, or at least think about what rules and standards we have in place. And yeah, so I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe in some future episodes we can get into some more nitty gritty details.
I might be able to shed a little bit more than just 2 pennies. But all right. So
but yeah, okay. So thank you for that question. What was it, Anna?
Yeah, Anna
sent
asked that question. Now your mother commented about music. Me myself, I am. I enjoy a variety of music. My favorite, of course, has always been jazz music. I love smooth jazz.
That's news for me.
I love smooth jazz, and I think it's peaceful for the mind, body, and soul, especially if you're in a stressful situation or if you just want to relax. It's just one that can kind of keep you in tune with yourself. But I also enjoy old school music. So 70s, 80s. Type of music, different groups, so from Isley Brothers to Brothers Johnson to Billy Paul, and many others. I can also listen to any genre of music, so I don't have a preference, but I do, I guess,
have a preference.
Go ahead. Well, what about you?
I listen to. I know this is such a cop-out answer. A little bit of everything, but I like to find weird examples of every genre. Like I like jazz, but I also like stressful jazz, I guess. Like just a barrage of noise and like polyrhythms and things like that. But yeah, I like a little bit of everything. I really especially like it when there's sort of like genre blending in music. So like when one song has sort of elements from multiple different genres, that excites me a lot. And thankfully that's something that's happening more and more lately,
Right.
Especially as more independent artists kind of get bigger thanks to the internet. Like you're starting to see things like pop music isn't just strictly pop music. It's now like pop music with hip hop and electronica, and there's throw in some jazz, and here's a saxophone solo, and like just random things like that. And I'm like, this is awesome. I like going in that direction. But yeah, so yeah, there's that.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Miss Morrow, for your question on music, or your question on music. I think we also had a question up above here. There was actually 2 questions. Your father asked.
Well, my father said no politics, and I warned y'all.
Okay.
I said I promised my parents no politics.
No politics.
Or at least I would go easy.
Okay. So you can get reprimanded later. You have another favorite movie though? I mean, like, is it a series? Do you happen to have a single favorite movie?
There's one movie that there's one movie in particular that I think is my favorite, and I keep going back to it. It's a movie called Samsara, and it's just this group of filmmakers. I think there were just 8 of them, and what they did was they just traveled the world, and they just filmed what they saw. That's all that it is. The entire movie is just the images of what they saw. There's no dialogue. It's just the images and music, and it is the single most beautiful thing. And every time that I watch it, I end up being emotionally moved, but at different points, depending on like kind of where I'm at in my life when I'm watching it. So I make it almost like a tradition. It's like every handful of months, I just watch that movie, and then it sort of speaks to me in a different way. It's really nice. So I like that one. It's kind of it's not as popular of a movie, but yeah, I really like it. So how about you?
Well, I mean, for me, myself, I enjoy horror movies, even though I don't like jump scares. Does that sound weird? I guess. I mean, okay, so, like, for me, I guess the director was Tobin Bell at the time. He came out with the Saw series back in the early 2000s. Love that series. I enjoy that series. I think my favorite one out of all of them is Saw 3. However, if we're not talking about a horror genre, I would have to hand the baton to it's either Small Soldiers or Toy Soldiers. It's one of the two, but it's about
This is a blast from the past.
Yeah, it's a blast. Yeah, you know about it. Okay, so
yeah.
So, 90s movie. I've had it when I was like, really young, and now I found out it was on Netflix. But anyway, a movie that's basically kind of sectioned off into 2 different types of factions, trying to. Well, I mean, initially they were enemies to each other.
The toy factions.
The toy factions.
Yeah.
And so, toward the end of the movie, they seem to work together for a greater cause. Seem to work together for a greater cause. But I mean that to me, especially when I was younger watching it, that movie was epic.
It's weird because it was full of toys and stuff, but it actually had some like badass action scenes. There was a full-on war.
It really did. It really, really did.
Like there were explosions.
You're talking about explosions, sparks flying, and everything. I think one of the actors got tied up. I believe it was. I think it was the girl. The girl actor that got tied up by the toys. And it was a bunch of dolls. It was a bunch of dolls.
You know
what
I'd like to see?
What's that?
So recently, the movie. What is it, 1917 or? Yeah, I think it was 1917.
Is it a world? Yeah,
it's a war movie.
Yeah, war movie.
Great movie. Saw it with my dad. Thank you, Dad. But I'd love to see that movie remade in the style of Toy Soldiers, like just little toy characters going around, but like still the same tone, just a very serious film, all done in a continuous shot, but like stop motion with toys. I'd really like to see that.
All right, yeah.
I feel like that'd be an interesting experience.
And I mean, for me, I've had a lot of movies that I wanted to see back, but I mean, I would miss them all because they would already be in theaters, and like even though I'd say I would want to watch them, or I would want to watch them, I just wouldn't be able to get to the theater in time. So yeah, there's that. Thank you, Mr. Morrow, for your question on the movie. I appreciate it.
And then, so my brother, Davin, he said that he enjoys folk music.
That's interesting.
And...
I mean, it is. Okay, so it is. And I guess the only reason why to say that it is interesting is, it's because there is, a lot of individuals that don't necessarily listen to folk music per se. Correct me if I'm wrong. At least from our perspective and our age group, there just isn't very many individuals who listen to folk
I
music.
like folk music or like folk inspired. Like I don't know. I don't know if new music.
I'm not
is
saying
called
I'm not
folk.
bashing folk. I'm not bashing folk music. I'm not bashing folk music. I'm just saying, you just don't come across a lot of individuals who
A lot of
like
folks.
a lot of folks who like folk music. So, it's just interesting. Angel, to answer your question on the thoughts of Baby Evelyn from Tennessee,
What is that?
I don't know.
What is Baby Evelyn
I've
from Tennessee?
I've never seen. I'm not going to say I've never seen because I've never seen, but I've never heard of Baby Evelyn or the news about Baby Evelyn. So if you'd like to, definitely.
See, Angel, please
Yeah.
explain yourself.
Yeah, definitely let us know, and we can definitely chime in and kind of give our thoughts about it.
Also, my mom says that she likes a song that brings back a memory, a tear, or pure joy. So for that, Mom, if you want to chime in, what's a recent song that you listened to that triggered a memory? And if you want to explain what that memory is, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll share it on the show. Yeah, I'm really curious about Baby Evelyn though. That's I don't know what that is.
Actually,
Is that like a hippo? Like
no.
Well,
Well, I don't,
Baby Fiona. There's Baby Evelyn.
see, like that's what I don't know. I don't necessarily know.
And yeah,
What I do understand, I mean, I believe that I might have heard of it once or twice, but I haven't gone into depth to know what that's pertaining to. So like I said, I mean, if you can enlighten us, let us know. We can kind of share, give our 2 cents about it.
some of these comments are killing me. So my brother said continuous shot stop motion. Yes, it can happen, kind of. Like, as long as it gives the illusion of a continuous shot, like without any like direct cuts to an entirely new scene, I think that would be.
I'll go ahead and state that.
May have the scoop.
Okay, just a second.
All right.
I'll go ahead and state that in regards to a continuous shot in the movie, World War Z is terrible. I'm just gonna throw that out. No, because to me it's so badly inept. I mean it's not placed together right.
I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Brad Pitt wasn't all that good of an actor. I'll just say that.
Well, we got some.
I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it right there. Shots fired, but I didn't fire it. Okay.
So Angel has explained. I hope I haven't read it yet, but she said, "Oh dear, my life has been wrapped around it this past week. Here's a very brief summary. All right. This baby hasn't been seen since December 10th. I'm laughing because this is unexpected. This is probably awful. I'm probably a piece of shit for laughing right now. This baby hasn't been seen since December 10th. Was just reported missing on the 18th of February. That's a few months. December, January, February.
Right. So the baby's been reported missing.
But the mom was just arrested yesterday due to lying to the police. The grandma and grandma's criminal boyfriend... What? The grandma and the grandma's criminal boyfriend was just arrested in North Carolina. No one knows why they were there. They live in Tennessee for stealing a BMW. The police got a tip to check a pond in North Carolina for the baby. She's only 15 months old, and the pond is in the middle of nowhere, and that is apparently the grandmother's boyfriend's family's house and pond. But nothing turned up there. Apparently the baby was seen in North Carolina 2 to 3 weeks ago in a KFC, but that's still being investigated. What?
Okay, so first I'll go ahead and open up to...
I just can't wrap my head around all that.
I mean, it seems to be a little... I'm not going to say it's far-fetched by any means, but what I am saying is, from what Angel just stated here with her most recent post, I would first let me say that I do pray on behalf of baby Evelyn. Of course, we want to be able to make sure that she gets back home safe and sound.
Crazy story, yeah.
Prayers go out to her and the family. But I also want to, I guess, state that I don't understand why the baby would go missing for 2 months without being reported.
Like, did they think that the baby was with grandma? Is that the thing? And they just thought, oh, baby's fine.
The baby
or did they not
with
care?
The grandmother, or did they just not know?
I don't have enough information.
I mean, there's so many questions that wraps around that topic itself.
If any family members would like to join the show and have a seat at the table to explain themselves, then feel free to.
Yeah, absolutely. Mom, to be more specific.
Baby Evelyn, if baby Evelyn would like to be on the show.
Yeah, I mean, any family member, any friend who wants to, chime in, pull up a seat at the table. We're more than happy to conversate with you.
But in all seriousness,
go ahead.
I do hope that they figure out what the hell is going on and that baby Evelyn is okay. That would be nice.
Yes.
That would be a nice change of pace for how I suspect things are probably going, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so that was unexpectedly dark.
We do appreciate you for sharing, Angel. Thank you. Thank you for that.
So Angel keeps sharing more information. She says the mother once said that the baby was the dad. Hold on.
Okay, now this just starts.
But
no,
comes.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, I think she meant with the dad.
Oh, with the dad.
Yeah, I think she just missed a word.
Okay. So from what it states here, yeah. So
what?
So she corrects it. So the mother once said that the baby was with the dad, which has come to the light that he is in active duty and hasn't seen the baby in months.
I'm just imagining the plot twist.
Then the mother said she was with the grandma the whole time. So I mean, so it seems like there's probably a lot of running around the bush. Really, what it seems to be.
I'm just stuck on the plot twist of the baby is the dad.
That is a plot twist. I mean, because if that was the case, well, then we should be saying, well, okay, baby Evelyn.
Or Daddy Evelyn.
Or Daddy Evelyn.
Daddy Evelyn.
That's, yeah. Okay, well, like I said, prayers and prayers up to baby Evelyn for being found safe and being brought back home safe. But in regards to this, Angel, I mean, my opinion is the mother need to go to jail because she seems like she's all far-fetched and lying.
It just sounds like a shit.
I mean, it just really, I mean, the story really sounds all over the place. So if I was the district judge of Tennessee, everybody be going to jail.
Everybody. Daddy Evelyn, grandma's boyfriend, the whole pond, all going to jail.
Right. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to read on the timeline as well. That's fine.
My brother says, "Keep it together, Steven." I'm sorry, I just have this image of Daddy Evelyn in my head. Just
all right.
I can see the M. Night Shyamalan movie now, where like the whole thing plays out. It's actually really good, but then the twist at the end ruins it, and then it gets really bad reviews. I can see it. It's already a thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next.
Anyway, someone please give us another topic.
I'll go ahead and state here that we do have, while we're preparing for more questions, if you guys happen to have any more, we do have some different items that we would like to bring to your attention.
Yeah, this might be important. What should we? My mom says we should talk about the weather.
Well, it's snowing and. It's snowing and I don't like the cold, so
it's okay. I mean, just wait an hour and it'll be completely different.
It still doesn't make it. It still doesn't matter. It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's
still cold.
Does anything matter?
It's going to be relatively warm tomorrow. then Saturday, straight into snow.
Everything
Straight in the snow.
everything is just kind of insane right now. Let me get some of these aforementioned items.
All right, let's go into the items here real quick.
So, in case you haven't noticed, both of us are wearing our fancy,
understand.
fancy little buttons
understand.
here. Yeah, you like that? So, we have more buttons. So, if anyone wants any buttons, here probably within the next couple few days, I'm going to be putting these on the online shop on mtfproductions.com. So if you wanna support the show, but you don't want to just donate because then you don't get anything in return, we have buttons, and if you donate a certain amount, then we'll give you a button for free because why the hell not? So there's that, but then we also have probably a little bit more substantial.
I mean,
if I can get, I've got wires. All
we do have different things that you can place up into your glass, like coasters.
So we also have these
beautiful
More Than Friends
are
coasters.
they?
Yeah.
Beautiful with the background and everything. I'm telling you, it's just gorgeous.
So these coasters are also going to be available for sale. We're going to have more products and stuff in the future. It's just for the time being, I've been poor, so all I can afford is buttons and coasters. So that's what you get.
We can all afford what we can afford. It's all right.
But yeah, so if you guys want to support the show, you can buy those. They'll be available on mtfproductions.com.
You got a link, right?
Yeah, the donation link is in the stream somewhere. I don't know how it looks. Yeah, if you want to just
Click
flat out
on it.
donate, you can donate. If you donate a certain amount, we'll probably just send you the stuff for free. Or within the next couple days, we'll have the products available on the online shop. And we have other products and stuff too, but we'll get to that later.
Sure will. Let's go to Angel Huffman's question. Welcome to the show, Angel.
Hello.
So it says, long time no see. Think this has been since middle school. We're old. We show are. I'm walking with a cane right now. I'm joking. Talking about your favorite middle school memory. I got a lot of them. Okay, so you want me to start first?
Yeah, please. Middle school was rough for me. I don't know.
All right, so favorite middle school memory for me. I wasn't a terrible kid.
Oh no.
But I didn't care for my teachers because my teachers, how they instructed, teaching and all that. I mean, it was terrible. Okay, first of all, let me start off by saying this. I had a math teacher, an algebra teacher to be precise.
It's always math teacher.
I know.
It's always math
and
teacher.
I'm not good at math anyway. Anyway, so this guy's really, 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 really short. And every single time he gets mad, he gets red in the face and acts like Eustace off the Courage the Cowardly Dog, just gets ready to blow a gasket. Have you ever seen the?
Oh my god!
You seen the episode where he just has those he just uses those drops on his head and he starts getting mad, all red in the face, and his eyes start to pop out. Yeah.
If there was a religion worshiping Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog, my brother would totally follow that religion. Just saying. That's like his idol.
Oh, well, hey.
Well, how do you say his last name? Eustace
Bag.
Bag?
Bag.
Bag.
No, but so
what did you do to this poor unfortunate?
Okay, I didn't do anything to the man, okay? So I was in class. Of course, they don't want you to do certain things. Couldn't chew gum, none of that. Don't understand why, because it wasn't interfering with none of their jobs. So I was just sitting there listening. At that particular day, he was instructing a lesson over PowerPoint, and he asked me where my composition book was because he noticed that it wasn't on my desk. And I said that my book was in my locker. He said, well, I need you to go get it. So my locker was kind of adjacent from his classroom. So I went outside, I went to go to my locker, tried to unlock it, but I had a hard time unlocking the lock. And he came outside,
Was he red?
Outside his classroom. Yeah.
Was he red in the
and
face?
He was red in the face.
Oh no.
And he was like, "Why are you taking so long?" I'm like, "I can't unlock my locker." And he was saying, "Well, you need to hurry up and get her, or else she's gonna be going to ISS." I'm like, "Well, at least I don't gotta be looking at your red face for the rest of the day." And that was the best. I mean, of course, there was other ones too. Like I shared a classroom with him and my brother. I have a twin brother, and he easily falls asleep in class because he doesn't know how to pay attention. And so the teacher sent him to ISS, and so
Is that like
yeah,
solitary confinement?
it's pretty much solitary confinement. It's pretty much like in school suspension for the most part.
Oh, okay.
And so basically, I went to go visit my brother because I wanted to eat lunch with him. I didn't want to eat lunch with nobody else. So I was like, "Hey, Kanan, you want to go? You want to go get some lunch?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm hungry, man. Let's go." And so we all go out, and so like the teacher was like, "Well, if you don't leave your brother alone, then you get to go to the ISS." Well, I was like, "Okay, well, it is what it is, brother. I mean, I'm still gonna get my lunch." So I went to get my lunch, and they was like basically following me and my brother all over the place, trying to get us in the same classroom. It was fun times, man.
It sounds like they didn't like you and your brother.
No, like I said, like it's not necessarily because we didn't want to do the work. It's just because they made us do the work all the time, and it was the same assignment multiple times.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that shit. The busy work.
Yes. What about you?
Angel Christine, it's interesting because two angels have asked questions now, and that's kind of interesting. So we have some angels watching over us. But Angel Christine asked, "What's a memory that you will forever cherish, forever?" So that's two forever. So we're gonna hella cherish this memory. But that actually goes hand in hand with my favorite middle school memory, actually. Which
Answer both questions in one.
Like, so when I was in middle school, I was always pretty unsure of myself when I was in middle school. I feel like everybody goes through that though, where they don't know who they are and they're just kind of like trying to discover themselves. But I still had a pretty nice group of friends that I was really close to, and at the time, I was playing a lot of video games, and there's one game in particular called Flower that really spoke to me, and it was this like beautiful emotional experience playing that game. But I remember after school one day, my friends Ariel and Brooke, and I think Ariel's sister was with us too, Celeste, but I feel like she was in the other room when this happened. But anyway, so they came over and I started playing the soundtrack to Flower.
Wow.
Like just playing the music, and we laid on the floor in my basement, my parents' basement, and we just kind of stared at the ceiling, and like we were just laying together, our heads were together, and we were just kind of like in a circle, and then we, without looking at each other, just staring up at the ceiling while listening to this beautiful like piano music, we started like sharing our deepest fears and our goals in life, and like sharing like personal secrets, and we like started crying, and it was just a weird, bizarre experience, but it was really emblematic of our relationship and how close we were as friends, and it was kind of the culmination of all this like pent up I guess anxiety that we were feeling, just because like a lot of people's experience, I'm sure we just didn't know what our life would be like, I guess. And we didn't know exactly who we were, and we were just trying to figure that out. And I don't know, just sharing that experience with my friends, it was nice because it made me realize that it's important to have friends that you can share things with, and it's important to be comfortable enough to sort of, if you have to cry, then you can cry. If you have to lay on the ground and stare at the ceiling and share your deepest, darkest secrets, then by all means do it. And I think that was just a really powerful moment for me. So I think that's my favorite middle school memory, and it's a memory that I will cherish forever.
I will go ahead and state this because this is not a disclaimer. At least I don't think it's a disclaimer. But anyway, men are men for crying. I'm just saying. I cry all the time. No.
So hold on.
No, I'm joking. Let's not open that.
No, I cry all the time. That's fine.
No, but yeah, I mean, no.
I'm crying now. You just can't tell.
Oh, wow. No. Let me get you some tissues.
No, I want you to repeat that because I'm not entirely sure if they heard what you said.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, men exhibit emotion just as much, as anyone else, women, children, anyone else would. Now,
I love the third gender.
Men,
women, children.
I'm just saying, like, and there's a stigma that men are not men, or men aren't supposed to cry, men aren't men if they cry, or something along that line. Men are supposed to have this tough, rigid, outward exterior, and so, society, thinks, or has at least thought, that you are not able to display emotional feeling. And I disagree with that. To me, how I kind of, think about it or feel about it, crying, if you have to cry, that's better than exhibiting anger. Crying helps release different tensions and different, emotions that, could be being housed. And it's an outlet that helps heal, so to speak, as opposed to of you just keeping it in, or you lashing out in an angry way. So I definitely agree with Stephen on it. If you have to cry, or if you just want to cry, if you want to shed some tears, shed some tears. Especially if you're going through a situation that that's unfair or unpleasant, something that you may not even be able to control.
See, and that's I feel like a lot of times men are kind of held to a certain emotional standard, and they're like looked down upon if they're too emotional or too effeminate or whatever. And like I don't see an expression of emotion as inherently feminine or masculine. I see it as inherently human. And so by tapping into that, you're just tapping into your humanity, and I think that that's important. It's healthy. But yeah, and that moment where I was with my friends in my parents' basement and we were crying, that was like the first time that I really just removed all barriers, I guess, and I just like revealed myself for who I was, and it was good. It was good. So yeah, and sometimes people feel uncomfortable doing that, and I don't think the point is to be comfortable as much as it is like it's important to have those experiences. So yeah, I'm grateful for having them.
Your father asked, are we gonna play the commercial for 10,000 Villages?
So okay, maybe I can.
Oh.
Okay. I'll give some context. So I work at 10,000 Villages now. It's a nonprofit fair trade organization. They work with artisans in developing countries, and they sell their product and they help support them and their families. Because I'm me, I just spontaneously decided that I would make a commercial for 10,000 Villages. It's an audio commercial. And so I just went into the back room at work and I recorded this thing and I sent it to my boss, and he liked it, and then he shared it with the board of directors and everything. So that was nice. Big confidence boost. I would share the 10,000 Villages commercial, but I don't think it'll sound good on the live show because I would have to play it on my phone. I don't know about that, but for everyone listening on iTunes and Spotify, I can slide it in there.
We can play it.
I can slide the commercial in there. So for everyone watching live, sorry, I can't play it now because the sound quality is probably going to be god awful. But if you go ahead and go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can follow the podcast, subscribe, and then when this episode goes live, the audio only version, I'll put in the 10,000 Villages commercial.
Fair enough.
So I'll tell my boss to thank my dad for getting a free advertisement on the Seat at the Table show.
Sounds like a plan, my friend. I mean, we could, we ourselves, Stephen and I, over a short period, we have been great friends, not just partners with this podcast. We've developed a relationship to where, we kind of go hand in hand with a lot of different things. And so, it's a pleasure to be able to do this alongside Steven and alongside our family and friends, you guys as the viewers. It's a pleasure to have you guys along with us. Do you guys happen to have any further questions before we, wrap up shop?
Yeah, any last minute questions? It's already been an hour. I told you, an hour will go by so fast. It
flies by so quick.
I didn't even realize that I can't feel my legs. God. We've got a lot of people in the comments and stuff saying hi to one another. That's wonderful. I'm glad that people can reconnect. It's kind of cool. That's what this is all about, is bringing people together.
Oh, yeah. Bringing people together and, sharing experiences with one another is what this podcast is all about. Family, friends.
Enemies.
Love and care all around.
Daddy Evelyn.
Daddy Evelyn. Of course, I mean, if there is a Daddy Evelyn. Just being, just sharing experiences and, kind of getting an understanding from others' viewpoints. That's where we want to steer the show.
Yeah, in the future, we'd love to have some guests on the show. We have some that are lined up. I'm going to keep them a secret for now. Some of them are pretty cool. But then in the future, if any of you guys want to be on the show, you can join us. And yeah, we can talk about weird things or not weird things. And we can lay on the floor, stare at the ceiling, and cry together. If you'd like to.
I'll just be bringing smoothies and milkshakes. So
there we go. That would make me cry.
There we go.
That would make me cry happy too.
I'm going to go ahead and answer Sarah's question. Sarah asked, do we happen to have any other favorite podcasts? Now, me, myself, I'm just going to go ahead and speak on behalf of me. I don't have any favorites. I just listen to a lot of well, I guess, okay, so I listen to many podcasts, but I don't have a favorite. My favorite, and it's more so of a show now, but it used to be the Colin, and I forgot the other partner, but they had a show on ESPN for a long time. I kind of follow a lot of sports, like radio podcasts and stuff like that. And I'm a sports guy, so. But what about you? What about you, my friend? Do you happen to have any favorite podcasts yourself, or?
I have a lot of favorites. What
would be your number one favorite?
Well, so I listen to a lot of NPR podcasts. Like, I really like Hidden Brain, which is a psychology podcast. I really like Planet Money, which is an economy podcast. I like stuff that teaches me things, but I also like stuff that makes me cry. So like StoryCorps podcast, The Moth, just all kinds of things like that. But I want to give a shout out to my friend Zink. He recently released episode 10 of his show, Reviewing the Reviews. And
It sounds really funny.
it's it's kind of ridiculous. But basically, he takes, you know how when you go on Amazon or you're looking up a restaurant, there's always like somebody leaves just a shitty review. Like they'll give the place 1 star because they had a cold and were miserable. Like they always give like stupid reasons for their shitty review. But anyway, so what he does is he goes on these reviews for different products or different places, and he reviews the reviews themselves. And he like sort of like reviews the people who write the reviews. But it's all like really silly and ridiculous and all that stuff. It's very cheeky. But it's just his most recent episode 10 is probably my favorite episode out of his show.
I'll have to check out on
it just
myself.
it had me rolling. It was great. And he reads reviews. He reviews reviews for Kings Island, actually.
Very nice.
So it's local too. So that's pretty cool. But then also I would probably be an awful businessman, an awful creator, if I didn't give a shout out to my new podcast, Diaries of a Trophy Whore, which
cool.
I literally
Yeah,
just
good about that.
I just released the first episode of that.
Yeah, please don't forget to. And I'm not sure if you put it in the More Than Friends Facebook page, but
I don't think I have yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm a disaster.
Definitely, if you click the link to the donate link on this podcast, you should be able to also look into the show itself. Diaries of a Trophy Whore here. Steven here just released the first episode. It is hilarious. It also has the teaser trailer here for the show here, which is very, very cool. And then he also has it released on both iTunes and Spotify. So definitely check it out. I mean, it is fantastic.
Thank
I'm
you.
giving you my own review.
Maybe
go
Zeke
ahead-
can review your review.
Right. I'll go ahead and answer this last question here by Angel Huffman. Basically, she just wanted to know what was the inspiration for the podcast. In a nutshell, Angel, typically you don't necessarily come across a whole lot of shows or a whole lot of podcasts that speak about experiences or different inspirations from other individuals or different stories from other individuals. So that's what this show is about. This show is all about being able to connect with one another, being able to share stories and experiences, and that's what we want to bring you guys on for. That's the reason why we have you guys here on Facebook Live with us. We want to be able to invite you in as guests on the actual set, even though the set is the set anyway.
Right now,
But
they can't see the whole room, but behind
Right.
the camera, everything's a disaster.
yeah, we're making it work. We're making it work. So Frank and Angel, Angel, Christine, and Frank, you guys are more than welcome to be on our show.
The reason why he singled out them specifically for audio listeners is
No, it's just because they did ask at that last half of it.
yeah, they specifically asked if they could be a guest.
But anybody can be involved on the show. We have no preferences or anything like that. Anybody can be involved. We have a lot of individuals who want to be involved as it is. And so as time continues to go on and as we continue to build ourselves and build the show, we'll be able to bring in different guests, different artists that will be able to share their experiences.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Specifically
Share
said
their
different artists.
experiences, share their stories, and be able to continue to go into deep conversation.
Oh, my
and all
mom
that
asked an
stuff.
important question. She said, "When can I expect your next show? I don't want to miss it." Well, thank you, Mom.
Thanks for
Thanks
asking.
for supporting us. So we're trying to do this as a bi-weekly thing, right?
Yeah.
So every 2 weeks. I don't know exactly what date it's gonna fall on.
So from here,
Because I know February was kind of weird.
yeah, February was kind of weird for us to actually plan this out and actually execute on it. Now we plan to do at least 2 shows a month or so, more if we can. But for now, we plan on doing it bi-weekly. What would you say, every other Thursday?
Probably.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll update you as time goes along, but I mean, in terms of a date,
We'll definitely post if you want to stay updated. Probably the More Than Friends Facebook page and the Seat at the Table Facebook page are the two places that you would go.
exactly.
So we'll keep you updated on there with all of that stuff. But yeah,
So,
I totally forgot. Oh, there's a hair in my mouth. Yeah. I
gross.
totally forgot that I was supposed to talk about some other products. So, real fast before we leave, people who have followed More Than Friends for more than a week probably already know about these, but I'm going to reintroduce them since we've kind of revitalized More Than Friends as a whole. But I do have some art prints that are available.
So cool.
So there's that. So we have 3 different art prints that are going to go live on the online store here within the next couple days. I know I'm a disaster. I should have already had this set up. But anyways, so these art prints are going to be available on the online store, and they're created by local artists. The guy who does the Reviewing the Reviews show, he actually made this one here. And that's Captain Knuckles from
Misadventures of Flapjack.
yeah, Misadventures of Flapjack. So he did that one, and then these two were created by Holly Dowdy, another local artist, and she's absolutely phenomenal.
Two very talented.
But yeah, when you purchase these prints, the money directly supports not only More Than Friends but the artist as well. So what we do with the prints is it's 50-50. So 50% goes directly to the artist immediately, and then the rest will help fund shows like this, as well as Diaries of a Trophy Whore and future products, so that we don't just have buttons and coasters, but we can have some more fancy things in the future.
So, I don't mean to cut you short or sell you short, but I think anything final thoughts you want to say? I mean, I don't know. I was too busy moving my Bob John. I was trying to make y'all laugh. I'm sorry. But yeah, pleasure of y'all being here on the set. We'll definitely give y'all updates as far as when the next show is going to be. We promise y'all we ain't gonna sell you short on that. But thank you for coming on the set with us, asking your wonderful questions. We hope that we provided some wonderful feedback. And
Oh no. My mom said she wants a Stephen and Caleb doll. That's only mildly disturbing. But you know what the hell? Why not?
Well, why not?
If you guys want a Stephen and Caleb doll, that's one doll, but it's both of us conjoined. I don't. Then please consider donating.
Yeah, just donate, and then I mean, the more donated proceeds that come to the site, the better, the better financially, But anyway, okay.
Yeah, if you go to the donate link, it's on the About section on mtfproductions.com, or on this live stream there should be the link, and I'm going to have a donate link in the podcast show notes for audio listeners as well.
Yep.
But if you go on there, you can choose not only the amount that you donate, obviously, but specifically where it goes. So if you want to support Seat at the Table, just choose the option that says Seat at the Table, and then that way that donation will directly support this show, and that means better equipment. That means a fancy banner, maybe. That means better lighting, because it got kind of dark in here.
That's okay. I think we did good for the first episode. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, this wasn't a disaster. That's more than I can say for most of my life.
Well, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on the show once again. We really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're bringing it all here to you here on the More for Friends Productions, and here at the Seat at the Table. Thank you guys for pulling up a seat.
Thank you. See you next next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Jesus.
So that should be the 13th of February.
All right. I can't reach the iPad.
Okay.